What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mental Rep for yet another video. It's been a minute since I dropped the video, but I feel like this is a subject that needs to be discussed or talked about. In today's video, I want to be talking about AI. Is it a friend of me or is it an enemy? And I already have my specific beliefs about AI. I don't necessarily like AI. I don't necessarily like the way that technology is advancing nowadays, to be honest. But that's just me. I know that there's people who utilize AI to the nth degree and they love AI. They love the AI capability. They love the things that AI is doing. They are fully integrated with it. And as you can see, AI is everywhere. It's on most of all platforms, which is unfortunate because I feel like there's people who don't necessarily want to interact with AI like that, but yet a lot of platforms utilize AI, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, or owned by Meta, I would say. WhatsApp, owned by Meta again. You got YouTube, then you got your other platforms that are not necessarily considered like the big powerhouse platforms, but they still utilize AI. AI looks like it's here to stay. I think honestly it's here to stay, whether people like it to or not, because I've heard reports of people saying that those who created the AI technology said that they lost control of AI, that there's reports saying that the AI is coming up with its own language that is thousands of years beyond the understanding of human of human capability, or just the intellect of humans, if that makes sense. And so, when you think about it, that can be a very, very scary thing. I've seen videos of AI actually communicating with each other and then going into this language mode that's called gibberish, which I don't know if we really understand it or not, but I don't know. Now, you might make fun of me, but I just recently watched The Terminator. I'm getting into The Terminator for the first time. I never watched Terminator at all, none of them. I've seen scenes of the second one, but I never watched it in its entirety. So just the other day ago, I just watched The Terminator, the first one. And a couple things I found interesting. If anybody don't know anything about Terminator, pretty much there's a futuristic war that was going on that was triggered by nukes that were pretty much taken control by the computer, or AI. They don't necessarily say AI in the movie, but that's essentially what they were referring to, since the AI grew smart and they saw that the humans were a threat. There was somebody by the name of John Connor who kind of led the resistance, not kind of, but he led the resistance against the machines of the future. And we never saw a face of John Connor in the first one, but we know that he was a threat to the humans. And so what the robots ended up doing was sending a Terminator into the past before John Connor was born to seek out the mother and to terminate the mother before he was born, so that he will not be a problem for them in the future. Simultaneously, as the Terminator went back into the past, somebody else came back from the future as well. His name was Kyle Reese. At first, I thought that was John Connor, to be honest, but I guess not. I guess that's supposed to be John Connor's father, which is interesting because if his name is Kyle Reese, then why didn't he just take the last name of the father, since the mother knew who the father was? I don't get that, but I guess he ends up taking the last name of his mother and not Reese. And it's not like she had any problem with the man that she slept with. It's not like she had a bad relationship with it. It was a good relationship. That was her protector, essentially. So I would have thought that she would give, John Connor Reese's last name, but I don't know. That's just me though. Anyway, so Kyle Reese ends up going to the past to protect the mother so that she can successfully have this child. But he was the one that ended up impregnating her because throughout time, he was always in love with her, which is interesting because I believe the movie Interstellar touches on that too, how people travel through time because of two things, a lie and love. So I think Interstellar is a really great movie at the same time too. But he was always in love with her in the future, so that by the time he went back to the past and actually saw her, I don't know. But anyway, I brought that up just to say this, because there was a moment that Kyle Reese was actually interrogated. He was caught by the police and he was interrogated, and he said that he was from the year of 2027. We're about to enter into the year of 2026, but he was saying that he was from the year 2027. He was also saying that the AI had taken control and pretty much destroyed the world with nukes and all of this stuff, which I thought was very, very interesting. And this is the reason for why I'm making this video. AI, is it a friend of me or an enemy? I recently asked somebody, what is the sole purpose of AI? And the answer that I got from somebody, which he claimed that it was the corporate answer. AI sole purpose is to make people's life better. It's to make people's life better. And I think on a surface level, I think that it makes people's life better. When you think about, all the things that people do on an everyday basis, especially when it comes to creativity, making music, making videos, pictures, movies, all of these things. On that level, sure, it can save you a lot of time. Though I think it is a device because it's taken away people's capability to think and to create for themselves. Kind of closes off the receiving from the heavens, if that makes sense. That's just me though. But I want to present a scenario. Now, if AI's sole purpose is to make people's life better, let's say the government of each country gets involved with AI. Let's say you got the United States, you got Russia, you got China, Venezuela, you got African nations, South Africa, you got the UK, all these different nations are integrated with AI. And if AI sole purpose is to make people's life better, what happens if China is in full communication with AI, constantly communicating with AI, that the United States is the enemy? Or that if Russia is in full communication with AI, saying that the Ukraine is the enemy? Or if Israel is in full communication with AI and saying that the Palestinians are the enemy? And vice versa. The Palestinians communicating with AI saying that the Israel is the enemy. United States saying that China is the enemy to AI. All of this communication to AI. What is AI going to then do if their sole purpose is to make people's life better? AI is the neutral faction between all of these countries. And judging by the answer that I got, if the sole purpose of AI is to make people's life better, if the sole purpose of the AI is to make the people of these countries' life better, and they gather all this information that the United States is the enemy, China is the enemy, Russia is the enemy, Ukraine is the enemy, Israel is the enemy, Palestinians is the enemy. If all these countries are the enemy, then what will AI then do to solve the problem? What will AI then do to solve the problem? Tell me what you think down below in the comment section. I have my own thoughts, but I want people to think, upon themselves. What would AI then do to solve the problem if they see everybody as an enemy and they need to come up with a solution for the people that they work for?